The Seventh Tower by Garth Nix. Book 4, Above the Veil. Chapter 26. Finally, Milla's voice, hoarse and weary, faltered to a stop. She wet her lips and waited for whatever was going to come next. "Now we will hear from the speaking shadow," announced the crone mother. She stamped her foot near the bottle, and it rang, metal on metal. The stopper had already been unscrewed. Odris flowed out in one easy motion, drawing up to her full height next to Milla, overshadowing the mother crone. But the old ice-carl woman did not flinch or step away. "So, Odris, shadow of the storm," she said, "you have heard Milla of the Far Raiders speak. Do you wish to challenge any part of her story?" "No," said Odris. "Only I want to say that I would be quite happy to give Milla her shadow back, if anyone knows how to do it. Though not if it would kill me, or hurt a lot, or anything like that," she added hastily. "I mean, I just want to go back to Einir with Odris." "You were born after the forgetting, were you not?" asked the crone mother. Odris nodded. "Then you cannot be held guilty of making war upon our people," pronounced the mother crone. "Good," said Odris. "Can we go, then?" "No." The mother crone walked back behind Milla's chair and spoke to the assembled crones over the girl's head. "Milla of the Far Raiders, by her own voice, is accused of bringing a free shadow to the ice, and of the slaying of the shield mother Arla, daughter of Hala, daughter of Luin, daughter of Rusia, daughter of Nuthe in the line of Grettir since the ruin of the ship. You have heard Milla, walked in her dreams, seen from her eyes. What punishment shall be laid upon her, and what shall be done with the shadow that walks at her side?" No one moved. Then one silver-eyed crone came forward, taking a dozen slow and somehow threatening steps. She stood facing Milla. She did not speak. "In fairness," the mother crone announced after a minute or two, "we shall speak with the voice, not the mind." The crone looked cross, but she spoke. "I am Gerald, sister to Hala, mother of the shield mother Arla. Why speak at all, I say? The crimes are clear. She is not fit to go to the ice. Let her be broken and fed to the Reska of her clan, and the name, Milla, be never borne again by any ice-carl." Milla closed her eyes. This was almost the worst punishment possible, one of the possibilities she had tried not to think about. If only they would let her go cleanly to the ice. Another crone stepped forward 12 paces, advancing to stand level with, but distant from Gerald. She was older, her eyes still faintly silver, but the milkiness already swimming in. "I am Kalim, Clear's daughter, sister of Rusia," she said. "I have heard Milla, and walked in her dreams, as I walked in the dying dream of my sister's daughter's daughter Arla. I say that on the slaying it was an equal combat, not murder, and no punishment is needed. On the bringing of the shadow, it came with Milla, but she did not choose its coming. We must also consider that Milla has done a great service in bringing news of the Chosen's evil and the danger to the Vale. The news could not be brought without the shadow, so on that score, I say she is also blameless." Milla listened in bewilderment. This crone seemed to be saying that there should be no punishment at all. No more crones came to speak. But after a few minutes, they started to gather behind Gerald or Kalim, lending support to one or the other. "They're talking," whispered Odris, who had sidled up next to Milla. "In their heads. I can almost hear it. like the whispers on the wind. Milla watched. She had given up all hope, but now a faint spark had been lit inside her. Maybe there was a chance she would be forgiven, that she could be a shield maiden after all. Only an awful lot of crones were lining up behind Gerald, the one who had called for her to be fed to the Reska. More than were lining up behind Kalim. After a few minutes, there was no further movement of the crones. Milla couldn't be sure, but it looked as if more than half of them were lined up behind Gerald. If this worked like a normal ship council, then that meant Gerald would win. Milla would die ignobly, and her name would be permanently blighted. She shut her eyes, then opened them again as she heard the crones shuffling. A third crone, a full, milky-eyed mother crone, was striding off to the far end of the ship. When she got there, she spoke. "I am the mother crone of the Eastern clans," she said, her voice heavy with power. It made the hair on the back of Milla's neck stand up. "I say that there is a third way to settle the doom of Milla of the Far Raiders and the Chateau Odris." A ripple passed through the assembled ranks of the crones, slight, but enough for Milla to notice. A third way? "For her misdeeds, I say she should be cast out of her clan," announced the mother crone, "and her name shall be taken from her." Milla suppressed a sob. This was the very worst punishment. Even if she had been fed to the Far Raiders' Reska, she would still be one of the clan, and her name, though not to be used again, would be remembered. To be cast out was to be erased, to have never been an Icecarl at all. "For her deeds, and for the blood she bears," the mother crone continued, "let the outcast then be taken into the clan of the Rune Ship and given the name Milla, and confirmed in her ancestry." Milla choked. How could she be cast out of the Far Raiders one minute, and then adopted by the senior clan of all the Icecarls in the next? "Further, let this new Milla, Milla of the Rune Ship, wielder of the Talon of Danir, be given command of the expedition we plan," said the mother crone of the Eastern clans. "But as she has trafficked with shadows, let us bind both her and her shadow companion to the task ahead." "What expedition?" asked Milla. "How can I be cast out and then taken in? What does it all mean?" No one answered her. All the crones were moving across to stand with the mother crone of the Eastern clans.